Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. Quite often, parents will ask me, am I expecting too much of my children? Stay tuned to find out the answer to that. Hello. So, how do you know if you're expecting too much from your children? Now, some parents don't really care. they their intention is to control and make children do what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. The child has no say or very little to say about who they are in the family dynamics. If you haven't already watched the video before this one about families, uh, do that. But also, who we are as parents and how we be with our kids, there's so much to it. So, for instance, let's just start from the beginning when an individual man or woman says, I want children. I want the experience of that. I want to love and feel the family connection. We have a sense of a belonging. We have a sense of a family union. We have a sense of joy. We have a sense of creativity and inspiration together. And then we have babies. And then we have little children and toddlers and pre-adolescents and adolescents. We have all these children, and none of us are prepared for what shows up when a child shows up. We're never prepared. We could go to parent classes. We can go to, how to live with whatever situations. It never prepares us for the individual one-to-one relationships that we're building with these individuals that we wanted desperately in our lives. And so this client I was talking to the other day, she said, I had this moment and it was just amazing. She said, I handed my son a glass of water and he said, thank you. And she said, I was stunned. I was stunned that he said thank you. And that's kind of what got me doing this particular video, because she said, am I expecting too little? That his thank you is like a profound moment in my life? Or am I expecting too much? And this is all very personal in a sense, like how do you want to be treated? How do you want to be respected? How do you want to be valued? And this is one of those dynamics in families. Like, I let my children inform me of how valuable I am or how to be respected, as opposed to saying, no, this is how I want to be respected. This is how I want to be treated in a family. This is how I want to be treated by anyone in the world. And how do I bring that about? So I don't know if that's a jumping too much, but if we expect our children to just know how to be grateful, know how to be respectful, a lot of times it isn't going to happen, especially if you, or like me, I didn't know how to request respect or even demand respect. I grew up believing that I wasn't worthy of that. As I mentioned in the earlier video, I was insignificant and inconsequential and inept at all of this. So I loved being a mom. I loved that connection, but I didn't know how to develop my children into people who would say thank you, or I'm sorry, or be willing to have a communication, a conversation with me in a way that deepened our relationship. It wasn't until my daughter was probably 35 that we began to have conversations that began to deepen our relationship. So how do we expect too much? If we're expecting something without engaging in that relationship, then it's just wishful thinking. And wishful thinking isn't going to get us that relationship that we imagined when we were pre-children, going, I can't wait to have this relationship. One of the things I believed when I was a little kid and so drew me to wanting to be a parent was that my children, in a sense, were my saviors. I would always have people to talk to. I would always have a sense of belonging. I would always have this connection with people that were like-minded. Now, my children are very different from me, and we don't have that kind of relationship. And so I'm still working it out myself in terms of what can I expect from my children? And are my expectations too great? Even though they're in their 40s, I'm still struggling with who am I in this family? Who am I with my thoughts and attachments? My attachment to my children being this, what I mentioned earlier in terms of, oh, they're going to be the ones that stay with me forever and love me forever. It's not that. It's not that, because they are their own individual selves. They have the freedom to choose to be who they are, how they are, and it may not be in alignment with my wants and needs. And how do I be with that? And this is what every single parent struggles with. And I think it's what every child struggles with, because every child wants that parent relationship as well. They want the parents to meet the expectations of that all-loving, unconditional person that's always going to be there in the way that they want them to be and need them to be. So there's always this dilemma of how do we be us, how do we be with our own sense of expectations and let go so our children can be who they are. And there's somewhere in there is that mutual relationship, that kindness, that respect, the compassion, the giving, the forgiving. And so that's what I want you that's what I want to leave you with. And most of these videos, I'm not giving you any, like, here's what to do, because these videos are really about letting you know that you're not alone in your struggles or your thoughts or your sense of, I don't know how to do this. Because the truth is nobody knows how to do it. We're just all doing the best we can. And when we know that, we can do what we can to do perhaps a little bit better if we want to for ourselves. And that will inevitably bring about a different relationship with our children, I believe. My relationship with my daughter has grown stronger because I've grown my relationship with myself. My relationship with myself is stronger. I now have a better sense of who I am and what's important to me, my sense of value, my sense of self-respect. Big deal is the sense of self-respect in how that relates, how our children relate to us, in the authentic self-respect, not the I'm your parent and I'm the authority and so you have to listen to me. It's that self-respect that comes from the inside. And the more that I grow that, the better my relationship is with my daughter. And that's a very good thing. That's what I want. So I'll leave you with that today. If you haven't already, please like this video if it's of value to you. Please share it with others if you think there'd be value for them. And leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts about your expectations of your children, or it might be your expectations of your parents. All right, bye for now.